friends, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to a new year, 2026. And I think we're gonna start off the new year with just a very mellow, cozy sit down and talk video. One, because it is tradition here on the channel, and two, because your girl is doing something like 52 shows in 26 days and she's tired. So it's just gonna be a fun, relax, chill kind of video. If that is not your shtick, if you are here more just for the pure renovation, then very quickly jump to this timestamp for a little bit of quick housekeeping, and then I will see you next week. Or maybe not, who knows? Check that timestamp out. So for the rest of us, I thought we would just start out by looking at the video that I made this time last year and seeing how many of my goals that I hit. What did I succeed at? What did I fail at? Honestly, I don't even really remember what I set out in that video, so it's gonna be a fun experience for me as well. And then after we do that, I figured we'll just chat about the year to come, what I hope to accomplish, what I'd like to be doing, and that'll give us a really great jumping off point for next year's cozy mellow sit down video. So I have my computer right here. I figured we would sit down and watch it together and do a little reflection. So here we go. So I want to talk both about the history of the house and the backstory of how I came to buy it. That was definitely a fail. I did not get around to do that. And that for a couple reasons. First of all, it's very tricky to talk about the history of my house without doxing myself. To do justice to the story, it would involve potentially making it so that people would be able to very easily track down where I live. Also, another part of that is that this is going to roll out with a fun art collaboration with another creator that I'm doing, which is adding just another layer of complication in terms of, trying to get timing together and stuff. And to be clear, it is not their fault that I have not gotten this video out. Not at all. It is entirely my fault. It's just an added factor, an added layer of complication. So will I be getting out the history of the house this year? I would really like to. It is such a fun story. There are some fun plot twists. It was really fun to dig into it. I also have been really wanting to come up with a name for the house, and I think having some of the history of the backstory to the house will make it easier to come up with an appropriate name. What do I want to call my house? But I think we need more information on the house, and I need to figure out how to do that story justice without completely doxing myself, because I will have to say the number of people that were super excited to give away my precise location in the world on the last video I released was absolutely wild. So, it definitely makes me hesitant when it comes to releasing more information that would make it even easier to track down where it is that my house is. I literally, when I found out about it, got goosebumps on my arms. I was so excited. I had to immediately go tell my patrons. Ooh, that is a good point. If you are somebody who is very, very impatient and you just want to jump and learn about the history of the house immediately, I did talk about it in a very safe, undoxable way over on my Patreon. So if you're into that, you're welcome to sign up. I can talk more about my Patreon later, but that information, a preliminary version of it at least, was released over on the Patreon literally the instant that I learned about it. I was so excited. I hopped on camera and filmed a little something for them. By the way, we are not actually done with attic antiques. I have probably about 2 more videos of things I found in the attic when I was cleaning it out back then. Plus, we still have not sorted through what is on that pool table, or even really talked about the pool table itself, which I find just a hilarious story in and of itself. So right there, we've got sort of a half fail, half win. I obviously did release some of the attic antiques videos. You saw the Singer featherweight there. So all of those clips have been released, but same as one full year ago, we still have not dug into all of the antiques that are remaining on the pool table. We still have not talked about the pool table itself. And something else that I didn't mention last year is that we still have an entire room full of antiques, because as we were doing the preliminary cleaning and sorting and all of that, we just decided to take all the antiques that were not, completely trashed and put them in one room, and that still has to be sorted through. So that will be coming up on the channel this year. And then I would like to go through and sort through all of the antiques and just really deep dive into them. What are they? How much are they worth? Because of course, in the comment section, people had some wild guesses. I got thousands and thousands of suggestions about what things are. And, inevitably, some of them are right. Many of them are wrong. Got some great tips from some of you about where to look into these things or what they might be. There were definitely some hidden gems. There were also a lot of red herrings. So that's going to be really, really fun to do. I just really need the time to sit down and do it. Do the proper research about the item. And I'm running a little short on time. Another really interesting video, I think, is going to be all the things that we have found in our walls and our floorboards so far. Okay, that was 100% a fail. I haven't had any time to do this video. It's another one that is on the list. I really want to do it. I think it's going to be very fun. I also think it's going to do very well. It has a very catchy title. People are always curious to see what types of things get found in the floors and the walls of these old houses. I just haven't had time to film it. I have enough stuff for at least one video, and we haven't even really broken into hardly any walls yet, but we've found a ton of really fun artifacts. A couple of them are sprinkled here and there throughout the old videos, but it would be really fun to kind of just tie it all together into one fun, clean video. Plus, there are a lot of things that either haven't been aired on the channel or have only been shown for a split second. It'd be really fun to actually talk about these items, show them to you in more detail, and I think I really would like to make time this year in the schedule to get that video out on the channel. I also want to continue to bring a mix of my passions to the channel. Now, don't worry, it will continue to be mostly renovation focused, but I am a well-rounded person. I don't only like to do renovation, I also am passionate about sewing and crafting and painting and DIY, and I want to continue to bring all of that to the channel, to sprinkle it in here or there. This one was mostly a failure, but maybe not in the way that you might expect. I did put out some crafting videos. However, the reason that it was mostly a failure is that those videos absolutely bombed. So I am happy to say that the circus videos continue to do well enough that I'll probably sprinkle them in here and there, which is a great thing because we've got some really, really fun ones coming up, including, performing alongside some very high profile musicians that many of you will recognize. So I'm going to bring that one to the channel for sure. Crafting wise, total failure. I did my second sewing video slightly earlier in the year. That was instantly the worst video of the past year of videos until I released my Corgi Hobbit hole video, which then stole that very dubious honor of being the absolute worst video of the year. I poured my heart and soul into that video, and I actually, I used so many power tools, so much creative problem solving. There was so much more stereotypical renovation type activities happening in that video. We were cutting things, we were building things out of wood, we were problem solving, we were bending shingles to fit onto the curved roof. It was so build heavy, it was so cute and fun and very upbeat, and it absolutely bombed. So I probably will not be doing any more crafting videos on either channel in the near future, which is such a shame because they are very creatively fulfilling and rewarding, and also help to prevent me from burning out, because if I just only do renovation videos, I get super bored and I will inevitably burn out sooner or later. So it is kind of a shame that I literally can't justify taking time off from the house, either from renovating it or from making renovation based videos for the channel to focus on something more creative. I think if I do any crafting in the future, it will probably be mostly something that I do off camera just for myself because I do still love it. The one thing I will say is that the people who did watch the Corgi Hobbit hole video were so incredibly rewarded and satisfied by it. The comments were some of the best comments on any video I've had throughout the year. So that in itself was actually very satisfying. And if I do put any more crafting videos on the channel, it will be literally thanks to all of you who did watch and leave such amazing, rewarding, satisfying comments. But I will have to say that if there are crafting, it will be few and far between. Although, that being said, I do have one crafting project that is already done, filmed, planned, will be out in February, and I will talk about that more in a minute. Okay, imagine this. It's a day off, a weekend or whatever, and you've got a visit you're looking forward to. Maybe a close friend or a family member. They come over at 10, let's say, because it's a coffee date and neither of you can drink caffeine after midday or you'll be up all night. Coffee and catching up turns into an extended crafting session, or maybe you find yourself hours into debugging a very specific hiccup in a new knitting pattern, or perfecting a 3D model of a fully articulatable human doll that you can plop a Barbie head onto in order to demonstrate circus moves to your students over social media. Hypothetically speaking, of course, I have definitely never been in any of these exact situations. So you're hanging out and you're having fun, and then all of a sudden you realize it's been hours and you're both pretty hungry, but there's nothing in the fridge because you were never supposed to be hanging out all day long. So what do? Well, you could either walk across the street to the dep and pay an extortionate price for a bad tasting frozen cardboard pizza, or you can whip out some of Wild Grain's fresh hand-cut pasta from your own freezer for a super easy, quick, and delicious meal. Now, obviously, Wild Grain is today's sponsor, and their products, whether that is real sourdough breads, artisanal pastries, or hand-cut fresh pastas, they all bake from frozen in 25 minutes or less. No thawing required, so you can go from starving to satiated in no time at all. Plus, the freezing actually locks in the flavor, the nutrients, and the texture, all without using preservatives. And if you or your friend happen to have dietary restrictions, that is no problem either because Wild Grain has gluten-free boxes, they've got vegan boxes, and now they also have new protein boxes, and they're constantly adding seasonal and new products to all of them. So if that sounds as appealing as it smells, you can click the link in the description and use my code to get $30 off your first box and free croissant for life. Plus, with every box ordered, Wild Grain donates 2 meals to a food security nonprofit of your choice at no extra cost. It's a win-win-win. And finally, we did manage to get the Barbie doll head on. It took a while, it took a long time, but check it out. I think that my resolution for 2025 is to be more whimsical. I want to introduce more whimsy into my life. Okay, yes, so famously, my resolution for last year was to bring more whimsy into my life, and I absolutely do think it was a success, although I don't think that I brought it to the channel nearly enough. But in general, it was super successful. I really enjoyed it. I honestly think it enriched my life so much, and I think I'm actually gonna continue that this year. So I'm gonna keep the theme of add more whimsy into my life, and I'm also going to add the word cozy. I want some cozy, whimsical vibes going into 2026. I want the embodiment of this right here. This is what I want. Whimsical, cozy, 100%. And I also want to try and do a better job of bringing it to you because I know some of you were very excited about that idea and asked me to sprinkle it into the channel, and then I kind of failed to bring every instance of that to you. So I will continue that. And I would also invite all of you to participate, whether it is that you want to do the same thing, you want to add more whimsy, you want to be more cozy, or if you want to do something like Pasta Quest, like somebody mentioned in last year's video, where you try a different type of pasta every week, or you try a different type of cheese every week. Whatever it is, I got some really great ideas. Some person made this suggestion to like make it a more open theme so that you can easily pivot it depending on how your life plays out. I think that's also a fantastic idea. So I absolutely invite you to write down below in the comments whether you want to call it a resolution or a goal or a theme or a quest. Let me know what it is that motivates you, that excites you in this coming year, because I do think it is going to be a very interesting, potentially rough year in many ways, and I think having something that we can latch onto that might help us add some more joy and whimsy into our lives could be a fantastic thing. So I want to read it all. Head down to the comments. Let me know. I do want to bring some more furniture painting and upcycling to the channel. Now, I've already started a little bit of it. If you watched this video right here, I did some really fun and super intricate painting on this key holder mail rack box. Ooh, this one also. Big fail on that. I did not bring any more furniture painting or upcycling to the channel, in part because the original furniture painting video did do so poorly. It was another one that just totally tanked, and it's a shame because it was very intricate. It turned out so well. It was so beautiful, and I do absolutely love furniture painting. Will we be seeing some of it on the channel in this coming year? If I have time. I don't know if I'll have time. I honestly, again, might just do some of it for me personally and not film it, or film it very sloppily and lazily and put it up on the Patreon, because I just don't have time to, even if I do have time to do it, I don't really have time to do a good job of filming it or to edit anything super intensely. And as you know, I'm a bit of a perfectionist. If it goes up on the main channel, I want it to be highly edited and very professional. So I will continue, like I said, to be doing some sewing, crafting, quilting, that sort of thing. Ooh, that's another one for the fail category, or at least in part. I have been doing a lot of it in the background, but it's been very hard to film these things. It's been very hard to finish any projects because I'm doing a lot of things, sewing them by hand. So I've got so many ongoing patchwork projects. I am still working on the English paper piecing sections that are gonna go in my room divider. It is an ongoing process, and then once I have all of those panels sewed, I still have to turn it into the room divider. Looking forward to that, but it is taking so long because, you know, it's all done by hand. I've been doing a lot of English paper piecing here and in Norway. Basically, anytime I go on contract, I always bring some hand sewing with me. Lately, I've been taking my patchwork pattern that I created myself for Bilbo's robe, and I've been doing some English paper piecing with that. It's turning out very fun, very cheerful. If you are somebody that has sent me fabric, please know that you are just helping to sustain me when I'm very tired and just looking for something to work on. And I am making some beautiful art, and I will bring it to the channel when it is done. It's just hand stitching is very slow. Then I did promise that I would talk about the one thing that I have committed to doing that is crafting related on the channel, and that is I'm doing another collaboration with Charlie from the Stitchery. This is something that we both individually came up with very similar ideas for a project, and once we realized that we both had such similar ideas, we decided to make sort of a fun collaboration. So that video is going to be really fun, and it should be coming out the first week in February. I just don't know if it's going to be on the main channel or if it's going to be a second channel video yet. TBD, but keep your eye out for that because, man, it was so much work and it looks so cool. I'm so excited about it. So I would love to collaborate with more talented professionals. Okay, so this one was kind of a win. I would call it more of a win than a fail. So you already saw Amber on the channel. Not only is she a really fun, amazing person, she has some really cool projects going on, and she's gonna be helping us out a lot around the house. So those of you who did stay and watch the segment had a lot of really amazing words to say about her and how she just seemed really grounded and down to earth and very fun to be around. And she absolutely is. So we will probably see more of Amber on the channel. Then, like I said, I am hoping that you will see Mac Ceramics. She is a Canadian ceramicist, and hopefully that video will be coming up and will be, intermingled with the story of my house. Very excited about that. Have a bunch of extra bonus features filmed, so looking into that. I mentioned that I wanted to work with a local landscaping specialist. Unfortunately, that was a fail. I just just didn't have time to reach out to anybody. So that one, unfortunately, I cannot check that box. Same with the roofer, another absolute fail. Still, 1 year later, need a new roof on the house and have not committed to what type of roof, what color. Part of that is just due to cost. Like, they're very expensive. It has gotten a lot more expensive with the whole tariff situation. There's also the aesthetic feature. So not only do I have to decide what material am I making the roof out of, but also like what color is it going to be? And part of that is, okay, well, what color is the roof? Well, you want it to go with the color of the house. Well, what color is the house going to be? Okay, well, what does the house going to look like? How do I bring it back to the original aesthetic? What was the original aesthetic? I will say I have been going through this book right here. This book has been a very fun read and kind of helpful. Also was literally just contacted by somebody who does renderings of historic houses. So hopefully we'll be bringing that to the channel, and maybe, you know, between all of us, we can come up with what the house might have originally looked like. And from there, we can decide on some colors. And then from there, once we know what the color of the house is going to be, we can decide on the color of the roof. All of these things would be kind of fun to bring to the channel. Like, I envision an entire video that is dedicated to the aesthetics of the original house, paint colors, all that kind of stuff. So, fail on the roofer, but it's complicated. I want to bring more characters to the channel. So this was a success in a way. We got to meet Phil's dad, and y'all absolutely loved him. He was a big hit. So we added one character already. I did also reach out to Transcend Furniture Gallery, who was another character that I mentioned in this video, somebody I would like to do a collab with. She's local to me, local to Nova Scotia at least. Unfortunately, I never heard from her. I don't know if my email just got lost or if she wasn't interested in working with me, or who knows what. Maybe I will try sending another email again, because I do love the work that she does. So, sort of a success. We'll be trying to continue to bring more characters to the channel this coming year. And, you know, I'm always open to, if you are somebody who thinks you want to contribute to the house process, the house project, and you are especially like local to Nova Scotia, but even if you're not, honestly, if you have a professional skill that you would like to bring to the house, reach out to me, honestly, because you never know, we might be able to make something work. I'm super interested in working with passionate professionals who deal with historical houses. All right, so now for a bit of channel housekeeping, which if you skipped right to this from the very beginning of the video, that might mean that you are mainly only here for pure renovation content, which is fine. But I will give you a massive disclaimer, which is that this channel is not strictly a renovation channel. It is called Shannon Makes, not Shannon Renovates. So sometimes I will be making this house a better, sturdier house. Sometimes I will be making it a home, but sometimes I will be making Rice Krispies. Sometimes I will be making some furniture more beautiful. Sometimes I will be making my dog a cozy hobbit hole, whimsical nook of my dreams. And as a mature adult, you have a few options. You can either not watch the videos that don't interest you. You can completely unsubscribe from the channel and ignore it because you only want pure renovation content, and that is fine. What is not fine is yelling at me because you don't like the content that I'm putting out. So if it's not for you, then just skip past. It's totally fine. I don't want to hear that I'm talking too much, that there's not enough renovation, because like I said, this is not a strict renovation channel. This is a channel where renovation is the excuse for us to get together and hang out and spend 20 to 30 minutes every Friday together with me entertaining you. And if it's not entertaining to you because you are only entertained by renovation content, then that's totally fine. I have no judgment on you for that. The only judgment I have is when you then decide to take some time out of your day to yell at me for that. So this is the disclaimer right now. If you're only looking for pure renovation content, consider how you want to handle it, but leaving angry comments down below is not the most mature or respectful way to go about it. But that does lead me into the next bit of housekeeping, which is that you are new here. I release a video every Friday at the same time. Here are some common time zones. That's when the video is released, and it goes live as a premiere, which means that it is, released at the same time all around the world, and everybody who is available is welcome and invited to come watch it together. together. It's basically a giant virtual watch party. I use it as kind of a fun way to build community. I actually don't get any revenue from this. Everybody who watches the video during that live premiere, I don't get any AdSense from that because there are no ads that play during a premiere. So if you're somebody who hates ads but doesn't want to pay for YouTube Premium, consider trying to tune in for a premiere, because apart from maybe one ad at the beginning, there aren't any ads. I'm not making any money. It's just like a fun way to build community and hang out together. If I am available, which I try to be available every week, I will also be there in the chat, like hanging out and watching it with you. It's just a general good time. So if you're available, consider joining us. Next bit of housekeeping is that most of this footage is shot a full year ago. It is shot a year in the past. There are many reasons that I do this. They are all very practical and 100% necessary. Just for my lifestyle to run a successful YouTube channel, I need a significant delay between when I film stuff and when stuff is released. If you are impatient or you want like very current, up to the present moment footage, you can head on over to my Patreon. I do monthly vlogs that are, filmed that month. So patrons have, basically a year of advance footage on you, but they're very casual, very informal vlogs. They're barely edited. And like I said, if I put stuff out publicly, I like it to be like really professional, really highly edited. That is not what you're going to find over on the Patreon. It's just like, it's more like this, except sometimes even more casual. It's just me walking around my house, showing you where we're at, what we're working on that week, that month. So if you are interested in that, the link is always down in the description. Sometimes I put a little blooper up here. So if you'd like to join, please feel free. And if that's not for you, if you're not interested, if you can't afford it, don't worry. You'll still get a public weekly video that is very highly edited with my perfectionism tendencies that you can sit and watch for free. The only side effect is that there is usually a significant delay between reality and when I film things. One last little bit of housekeeping that I almost forgot is that you should always stick around to the very end of the video, because at the very end, I always put the funny bloopers and outtakes. The outtakes that you saw last week's video, a lot of them came from the very end of the video. So if you like bloopers, you like funny moments, stay tuned to the very end of the video. Also, I always put my edit time at the bottom, which some of you notice and has become a fun game that I have like Pavlovian style trained you to look for the edit time. That's always down there at the end too. So I think that is basically all that I covered. I, again, would love to hear your goals, resolutions, thoughts for 2026, what you would like to see on the channel, which, I may or may not take into consideration, but I'm all ears to hear it. And I wish you, again, a very safe, happy, healthy new year with at least a little bit of mental stability. So with that, I will sign off and I will go put on some makeup and go do another show. Toodaloo!